The Regional Office for Latin America and the Caribbean wanted to especially convey the recognition of UNICEF's work in this region in leading global trends for several decades. We've been among the first to operate in the context of middle-income countries. We've been among the first to be able to do more with less. We've been among the first to actually focus on how to address complex problems like child protection. And this region has shown the leadership in terms of dedicating a good chunk of the budget to health and education and social services. As more and more countries around the world are entering middle-income country status, the eyes of the world are upon us to see how we program on a rights-based approach so that we reach the most vulnerable children, and how we, as Honorable Pierre pointed out, how we struggle to program effectively with extremely limited resources. But it is also in this very context that the demands are growing to show tangible results that impact directly on the lives of children. In the past few years, as the region went deeper into recession and national debt, the investments and gains made in social development became more and more challenged by the demands curtailing budgets, especially on the social sector. All of us here in this hall are in the business of social development and social transformation. All of us are here because we are working in one way or another on children's issues. So it's preaching to the converted to say that public spending in education, health, child, and social protection cannot be seen as costs, but seen as actual investments that yield both economic and human development dividends. Today's neglected child, today's sexually assaulted girls, today's boys who are pushed out by schools that can't keep them engaged, today's schools bullies are tomorrow's unproductive citizens, tomorrow's pull down on health and social care programs. Childhood deprivations have a lifetime effect that in many cases cannot be reversed. In converse, today's happy, protected, well-rounded, and academically engaged girls and boys are tomorrow's productive adults, actively contributing to the national and regional growth and development. The gains in social development, the high immunization rates, the low infant and child mortality rates, the universal primary school enrollment rates are all testimony, tangible evidence of the long-term commitments to social justice and equitable development in the Caribbean. But the signs of deterioration are already evident. There is nothing more worrying than the rising crime and violence among youth. Tough leadership decisions will certainly have to be made, there is no doubt. There are inefficient, popular policies and programs with low or negative returns or high wastage that certainly need to be curtailed. But in every option being considered on how best to use public funds, the fundamental question will need to be, how will it affect the most vulnerable household? How will it impact on the most vulnerable child? Ladies and gentlemen, these are the most critical aspects of any human and social development programs. We at UNICEF, we work with all of you, and in the programs of cooperation with the countries in this sub-region, we can only go as far as a collective vision of this collective leadership. Whether that leadership is short or far-sighted, whether that leadership is looking at immediate economic returns or looking at longer-term returns on human development investments, are not within the realm of any external actor. As we review the multi-country program at this midpoint, the changing context and program environment have to be kept in mind. UNICEF's inputs are minuscule. How and whether these inputs are strategically placed to leverage a much larger concerted effort to yield measurable results for those who need the most attention is in your hands, our implementing partners.